All right, guys, now let's go over the collar tie counters. I know in grappling, I see a lot of people that love it. Sometimes you'll see it, and as a wrestler, you'll see a bunch of grapplers kind of go collar versus collar. And remember, you don't want to be in what I call stalemate positions, because nobody's really scoring. So if my opponent collar ties me, I got multiple options, but I'm here to kind of teach you guys maybe a couple of the best options when somebody does collar tie me. So I'm gonna release it here. I have two options that I like to do when somebody collar ties me. As soon as somebody collar ties me, here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go inside control. Number one, I'm gonna go inside control, and I'm gonna move my feet. So my opponent, once again, collar ties me, boom. I'm nice and shrugged, I'm relaxed. Look at my back, it's nice and rounded. Like I'm never too upright, because I never want to be too tense. And again, I believe the hardest thing you guys will find in becoming the best wrestler is finding that good posture that's gonna make you comfortable. Not everything that everybody tells you to be correct. Find a stance that's gonna make you comfortable. Find a stance that you can defend. Find a stance that you can find some awesome, that you can feel comfortable, getting offensive with. So my opponent, boom, collar ties me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna inside collar this side. I'm gonna circle my feet. He collar ties me, boom. I gotta create space, so I gotta walk and slide my hand through. And now it's time for me to grab inside control. It's time for me to reverse the control. So my opponent collar ties me. I'm gonna collar tie. I'm gonna inside tie the collar tie. I'm gonna move my feet. And watch. Now I have my shot. Remember, 6 feet away from the foot. Boom. Right here to my takedown. All right. My opponent collar ties me. Boom. I'm gonna inside tie. I'm gonna move my feet. I gotta create space. I gotta create space first, right? I gotta create space in order to get this arm in. I'm gonna move my feet. I'm gonna go inside tie. Step 6 inches from the foot, dragging this arm towards me to my shot, to the eventual takedown. So again, somebody collar ties you, we're nice and relaxed. Collar ties me, look at my back. I'm not, I don't get too crazy, I don't do this because I'm gonna get double leg. I'm here. I allow it. I move my feet. I create space with my feet like an inside collar. Right? 6 inches away from the foot, from the toe. Boom, to my shot for the eventual take. Remember, every time that we do shoot, we always want to lock our hand. We always want to drive. Remember that analogy that I made about Atlas? Outside foot is always strong, getting into our opponents. One last time. For good measures, our opponent collar ties us. We become nice and shrugged. Our cinches are on. I'm defending here, right? Right now he has better position than I do, right? I'm bringing my hands in. I'm gonna walk my feet. I'm gonna circle, and I'm gonna sneak this arm through. Now I have position. 6 inches away from the foot. 6 inches away from the foot. Underneath his chin, circling, catching my angle to the takedown. Right, we have. So that's the collar tie. I inside tie the collar tie, circling my feet 6 inches away from his toes, finding it nice and posture, good angle, and I go from being smooth and relaxed with the rounded back to nice and strong with the upper, with my head nice and strong, my back nice and strong, my legs, all the pressure focus to take my opponent down. All right, so just a continuation of countering the inside, the collar tie. Again, I went over that. I went over the single leg position, 6 inches away from the foot, leg nice and postured, driving my opponent forward. We just went over that. And again, we have a variety of shots, guys. That's the beauty. That's the beauty about it. I'm going back to the takedowns that I taught you guys earlier. The Japanese double, the double leg with my ear glued to his hip. Just hiding everything I do. Everything I do, especially for grappling, is I'm hiding. I'm completely just hiding everything. I'm being sneaky about it. So again, my opponent collar ties me. Boom. I inside tie. I run my feet. I inside tie. Remember, I got the single. I got the sweep single. He collar ties me. Run my feet. Create space. I got my double leg, my Japanese double, taking them across, right? And it's here, I'm snaking here. I'm snaking, I'm popping my opponent forward. He's gonna end up on his butt, right? And I just have my regular double leg here, right? So he collar ties, run my feet, create space, boom, right? Bringing my knee straight to that armpit, catching my side control. And you'll start to train whenever you take somebody down, is bring that outside knee up to his armpit to establish great control. So again, I'm gonna go over all 3 sequences. Collar ties me, run my feet, collar tie, 6 inches into the foot to my takedown. Collar ties me, collar tie, run my feet, boom. I got my Japanese double. Jumping across, I can get fancy with it. And I got my regular double leg as somebody collar ties me. Collar ties me, boom, running my feet, inside collar. And I'm finding that right here to that hip. I'm locking my hands. Right? Jumping across, finding, notice the position that I'm at. As they're falling, we want to pre-anticipate that these guys that they're able to see what I'm doing and how I'm, not just taking the fact that I'm taking advantage of the takedown. I'm sliding that knee towards that armpit. I'm staying close. I'm trying to put myself in the best side position as possible. So we have the collar, sweep single. Okay. We have the collar, we have the sweep single, boom. We have the collar, run my feet, boom. Japanese double. We have the collar, running my feet, inside tie, locking my hands, and doing everything like we've been teaching, like so. So again, that's a series off the collar tie, off of this area. Now I'd like to go over the collar tie to picks. The collar tie, you guys saw Daniel Cormier just did it actually recently in one of his matches, is being able to use that leverage to pick people, to pick their ankles. So again, another series that I want to go over off the collar tie is creating that space. So this time, instead of going inside like we were shooting here, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that bicep, and I'm going to step to the outside. I'm going to step to the outside. I'm going to go underneath the bicep, like so. So we're just going to clear it for a minute. Collar ties me. I grab that elbow like this, kind of like I don't know how you would. I don't know what you would hold here, but it's in this position here. And I guess a C grip, but I'm doing it this way, or a Lego hand, right? So here, a Lego hand, right? Stepping to the outside. I'm not going inside no more. I'm stepping to the outside, guys. I'm stepping to the outside, going underneath that arm, creating that angle, creating that space to take my opponent down. He's here, boom. I grab elbow. I go underneath his elbow. I grab that angle, and I'm starting to look for my shots, right? He's here, boom. Grab elbow. Stepping to the outside, going underneath that arm. And again, I'm grabbing it like a Lego hand. I'm here. I'm grabbing it like a Lego hand. I catch my ankle. I step to the outside. Now notice the position that I'm in. I'm in the position of, I have a great angle. I'm getting ready to take advantage and take my opponent down. So as I'm here, what I'm going to do is I collar tie. As he collar ties, and this time I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go to the opposite side. I'm literally going to find that. I'm gonna find that ankle, and I'm gonna drive this elbow straight into his ribs for the takedown. So here he collar ties me. I'm gonna grab that elbow. I'm gonna step to the outside. Boom. Now notice. Finding that knee, finding that ankle, but I'm gonna swing in there to take him down. I want to find that exact pressure where I'm able to find that perfect angle to take my opponent down. So as he collar ties me here, Step it to the outside. I'm going underneath. Notice I'm gonna shove it. I'm gonna shove it to him. I'm gonna shove it to him. I'm gonna find that outside knee for the eventual takedown. Now watch. Constantly thinking, going above this outside knee, going above his armpit. Right, he's here. Boom. Step it to the outside. Step it to the outside. Right here. Boom. You'll get a different reaction from everybody. But the key is to this, just force. It's force. Look at that angle that I have. I'm going to use my whole body. My whole body, shove everything to him for the takedown. Right? Here. One last time. You collar-ties me. I'm here. I'm not going inside. I'm going to go out. Lego hand, C grip, grabbing that tricep. I'm going to go underneath the arm. I'm going to shove this to him. And I'm going to find that knee, shove him straight to his back for the takedown. So we went over 2 shot positions from there that are extremely beneficial there. These are the first. I'm teaching you guys the go-tos that I do right off the bat. And I think even as a wrestler now, I continue to keep evolving because my sport, my coaches, my peers continue to keep evolving, and I continue to move with them. So just to finish up with the collar tie, we went over the inside single, inside tie, the collar tie, going sweep single. We're going underneath the elbow to picking these ankles. And I think the last thing that I want to do, it's a move that's very it's very deceiving to people because people are not used to somebody collar tying the collar. Actually, I take that back. And grappling, they're used to that. So when they collar tie, they collar tie the collar tie. The only thing is I want to be here for a slight second. So I never want to collar tie the collar tie unless I'm controlling. I want to control the hip and maybe collar tie here. Again, I have a variety of sequences, but I'm giving you guys the meat here today of what's going to make you guys successful. Right? So we're here, we're in the collar tie position. When I like to collar, I like to get underneath as I press him because I want to use pressure to set my opponent up. We cannot just do technique and not expect our opponent to kind of respect us, right? So we gotta be able to set our opponent up. Even though we're not setting them up with fakes, we're gonna set them up with pressure, right? Pressure is underutilized, and we have to use it. Again, this is what you call slide by. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go underneath the armpit like so. I'm gonna collar tie the collar tie. I'm gonna press him. I'm gonna wait for my opponent to kind of react and press into me. As he presses into me, you guys feel that force. You guys feel that force. I want you guys to feel it here. I want you guys to see it here, right? As I start to feel my opponent's force, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this all the way through like so. Then I'm gonna cup his tricep like this. I'm gonna cup his tricep, I'm gonna cup his head, and let go real quick, so let go. Here, and then really gonna look that way, and then sweeping him across, and you guys will see my opponent just pretty much flare out of here. So again, he collar ties me here, I'm gonna go underneath that armpit, I'm gonna collar tie the collar tie, press him just a bit, and I don't have to go underneath yet until I feel him pressuring back. As I feel him pressuring back, I'm gonna be like that screwdriver. This right here is gonna be like kind of like a screw. When you see a screw actually going into like a drywall, it does this. That's kind of what I'm doing, but obviously I'm doing it with my arms, right? So I'm here, I press him, I collar tie the collar tie. I want to be here for a slight second, guys, because it's not good for somebody to be here for too long. I'm gonna screw myself in here. I'm gonna feel that pressure. And as I start feeling that pressure, I'm gonna use it towards him. I'm gonna pull his head, I'm gonna pull his bicep as I look directly into the camera for the takedown. That is called a slide by. A slide by, when you see wrestlers hit this, you can tell they come from a great camp because these slide bys are you can tell when somebody comes from a good school of wrestling when you're able to see this because this is based on pressure and it's based on finesse here. So as he collar ties me, boom, I collar tie him, I'm going underneath that armpit, I press him. As he starts to press me back, I'm gonna cup his head, I'm gonna cup his bicep, and I'm gonna pull him across. I'm gonna pull him across, start to find wrist, take his back, do what I gotta do. I'm in a great position to take him down. All right, so he's here, boom, collar tie, press. I'm gonna move him and look directly into the camera, right? From here, I can drop back down to that double leg, or from here, a lot of you grapplers might wanna take the back, right? I wanna start taking the back for the takedown. So again, he's here, collar tie, press him. I can set him up here. As I'm getting ready to go, I'm looking straight towards you guys. I'm using his momentum to take him down, right? And that's called a slide by takedown. One last time, collar ties me, I collar tie him, I press him. I'm gonna flip him, I'm gonna flare him for the takedown. And that's it for the series of the collar tie. All right, so just adding on to the collar tie position, we're going over the over/under here. And again, I think I'm known for like the inside trips. If a lot of you guys in international wrestling, high school wrestling, even I started falling in love with the inside trips at a very, very young age. And the inside trip, it has a lot. We can do it offensively, but also the inside trip also works when you're in over/under with your opponents, and I'm gonna go over all these setups, but you can do if you can match the inside trip, you can do it off the open, or you can do it off the over/under. So good. First of all, I'm gonna teach you guys how to, because I want to work the over/under position here. So I'm just gonna teach you guys, the mechanics of actually doing an inside trip. So I want you guys to follow me here. We can back step here. And what we do is with this one, because remember, mathematics against that pendulum. I cannot stay here for so long. But what this helps me do is it helps me leverage myself in for the eventual takedown, right? So we back step, and then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what you call maybe a frown or a rainbow, whatever the heck you guys want to call it. Here, but I'm calling it a frown. I think the rainbow's a little too. A little too ramble-ish for me. But anyways, I'm gonna back step, I'm gonna make that frown. Kind of slipped there a little bit. We all mess up every once in a while, right? Back step, rainbow, right? I'm gonna go to the left, back step, half a circle. Back step, making that frown. Back step, making that frown. And notice when I do my inside trip, I always want to make sure that my nose is pointed directly towards my heel. It just puts me in good posture, because at one point when you do hook the leg into the inside trip, it almost kind of becomes a double leg, where you're almost like in a double leg position, right? So again, step, boom, rainbow. Step, boom, rainbow. Step, boom, rainbow. Step, boom, rainbow. Again, these are the mechanics of the inside trip. Now I'm gonna bring my partner back, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same position that we're working on. Now we're just gonna do it off the over/under, because especially in jiu-jitsu, or grappling, we end up in these positions here, right? And sometimes we use our legs to disguise everything that we're doing. These guys are so worried about the arms that they forget about their legs, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a simple inside trip to this side. So every time I do, the majority of the time that I do inside trip, I like inside tripping to the same lead side, especially if my head is on the same direction. So you guys watch the inside trip here, same lead side. We're gonna start off kind of simple, same head size, same lead side. I'm leading the same. We're practically pretty much the same. The difference is I'm gonna back step, and sometimes I use this step as an indicator. As soon as this thing touches my heel, I know that I'm gonna go in to my opponent, nose to heel. I drop my level chin just a little bit. I kind of end up in a double leg position, and I'm really pushing my opponent forward for the takedown. We're gonna simplify it for now. Here, over, under, put in this position here. What I'm gonna do is at times I may have to bring them forward, I may have to walk back. I'm gonna tap here. I'm gonna tap that here, the indicator letting me know that, hey, it's time to go. It's time to go, right? Because I do not, if I'm here, I do not want to reach up here, which is a common mistake that people do. And we end up getting ran over, and we end up in half guard or side control, whatever that may be. But as I'm in this position right here, guys, is I'm gonna tap that heel, that pendulum. Nose to heel, dropping that right shoulder, using that right shoulder as a dagger to take my opponent down. Right? So again, we're here, our opponent, we're fighting our opponent here. That's it, I'm gonna backstab. I'm gonna backstab. Boom. Making that rainbow, making that frown. Dropping my levels, turning it into a double leg for the takedown. And the reason why I say double leg is because the tongue was that position. Because when you inside trip, you don't want to just focus on that one leg. Right? You don't want to just focus out. Common mistake that people make. When I inside trip, I'm focused on these hips. I'm focused on the shoulder. I'm focused on taking my opponent that way, straight over. And that's the reason why the inside trip works. You know, I've been able to use this, and this is, I mean, God, it won me a world title because I've been able to kind of develop this myself. I think if there's any of the techniques that I showed today, this is one of them that I believe that it'll work for anybody. You just got to believe in it, practice it, and you guys will see everything kind of fall into place. So we're here, we're over under. I'm gonna tap that heel. I'm gonna tap that heel. I'm gonna make that rainbow. I'm gonna make that frown. Drop, level change, taking my opponent forward for the takedown. Right? Now what happens, another scenario, now what happens if he's here and this leg's back and this leg's across? That's fine, simple. What I like to do from here is I like to move my opponent, but as I move him, I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I'm kind of gonna glide my eyes to, I'm gonna go eye to eye, nose to nose. If it's a girl, man, we go lips to lips, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna get close to him. But as I move my opponent, especially he's moving this direction and I'm moving right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna move him, and as I move my opponent, as I do this, it's a very subtle movement. I'm gonna move my head with it, and I'm literally just gonna go in just straight for the inside trip. To the opposite side. Every time I inside trip somebody, I'm always falling hard here. I'm always falling hard in this position, looking at scorpion, looking to get some damage done. You know, in jiu-jitsu, grappling, we're looking for submission. We're looking to get our points. We're looking to expose them in every situation. So as we're here, he's leading the opposite side. Yeah, I gotta move him. And when I move him, guys, I'm grabbing and I'm doing. That's it. It's a very subtle movement. I can use both hands, or I could just use one. But as I move, I'm falling into that inside trip. Right? So in my fight against Demetrius Johnson, I was able to inside trip him to both sides because I had practice and I knew that it was there. The man that beat me in 2 minutes and 36 seconds and they clinched the first time, I learned. I went back, watched the videos, made my adjustments, like I made my adjustments from wrestling to mixed martial arts, from wrestling to grappling, and this is why I'm teaching this technique. He's here, he's leading the opposite side, and that's all I'm gonna do, guys. That's all I'm gonna do is I got it. I'm leading here, but my head's on this side. I gotta move him this way, and as I move him, my face, we're gonna go eye to eye. We're gonna go eye to eye, eye to eye. Slamming everything down for the takedown. It's a subtle movement. I always try to inside trip the underhook side too. So whichever side he has the underhook side, if he's leading that same leg, I'm gonna inside trip that side. right? Because I'm putting all that weight on this arm here, right? All that weight is coming down here, right? I'm smashing, I'm bringing this down as an inside trip. So we're here. So I'm gonna move them again, saw the movement. I'm gonna go eye to eye. I step in that drop. When he's leading to the opposite side. Also, another way that you can set up the inside trip is I call it the plain scared inside trip. And I lure my opponent in. He has an underhook. What I like to do is I talk about sensors, I talk about framing. What I like to do is I like to grab his hips just as an indicator to know where exactly he's at. Because remember, he can inside trip me here too. We're both in the same position. I have an underhook on this side, he has an underhook on this side. I have an overhook on this side, he has an overhook on this side. Who's gonna be the smarter cat, right? So we're here, I'm gonna grab his hips, I'm gonna play scared. What happens when you play scared? And when I'm gonna play scared, I'm not gonna walk back, guys. I'm not gonna walk back like this, because this right here, this motion right here, I'm creating too much space. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna manipulate that walk. And the way I manipulate that walk is I pretend like I gotta go pee. You know, it's like, Dad, I gotta go pee. It's exactly what you do. You know, you're a little kid and you're kind of like, you know, you already peed your pants, but you're kind of like watching everything. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm here, I'm gonna walk back, I gotta pee, I'm on the hips. What your opponent does, when you stick your butt out, what does your opponent do? He smells weakness, right? So what's he gonna do when you continue to keep walking back? He's gonna pull you up. He's gonna pull you up, yeah. Now watch. My opponent just turned himself into me. Again, so we're here. As I'm walking back, I gotta piss. No. Let me walk back a little bit. Let me walk back. I wanna really demonstrate. Go ahead, jack me up. Look, notice. I just set this guy up for this inside trip. Look, he came into me. He came into my arms, right? For the inside trip. Right there. It's setting your opponent up. It's finding his momentum. It's getting him to walk into you so we can inside trip him for the takedown. So it's all this is a tactical way of taking somebody down. Like, it's not always about you creating or something. It's you play possum. Play possum. Play a little like, oh damn, boy, he jacks me up. Inside trip. I call it the plain scared inside trip. Plain scared, right? We go to the opposite side. We go this way now. Yeah, he's here. I'm playing scared. Remember, I don't want to walk back. I'm creating too much space, right? I'm gonna manipulate the walk. As he's here, I'm gonna manipulate. Oh my God, I gotta go pee. He jacks me up right there. You guys notice that? Look at how close this is. I don't even have to backstep no more. Right here, I just go in and I just hook. I just make that rainbow. I make that frown. Make that frown. Drop that step. Get inside for my takedown. Right? And when I get in this position, I'm always coming down here. Right? Always want to make sure I'm always just securing the position because I can inside triple from here. And right away, I'm jumping to this side. I'm jumping to side control. Playing scared inside trip. I love it. I love attacking people from here. I absolutely love it. Here, on both sides. Again, couple more times. He's here. I gotta pee. I got my centaurs on him. I'm making sure, remember, these hips, these are the indicators that people forget. I'm using this frame to understand where exactly my opponent is. Because we both had the same thing. Right, I'm here, walking back, gotta pee, jacks me up. Nose to heel, everything's making sense. I'm driving my opponent, catching by his hips for the takedown. One last time. It's here, grabbing the hips, walking back, he jacks me up, hooking for the takedown. I wanted to go over that series of people seeing the inside trip coming. And another thing, because I think people are starting to realize, and I still teach the inside trip, but it only helps me to kind of advance and continue to grow in the sport of wrestling, because I enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching what I know and what's made me successful. And this is another one. So let's just say, in case I do not get the inside trip, right? Let's just say it's like I do everything right, go for the inside trip, and this dude just moving everything back. Now watch. The only thing I'm gonna do now, I'm actually gonna end up in a better position here. Over under position. That's all I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna cross body. I'm gonna use this leg to find this opposite side, sneaking everything in for the takedown. Now I got a good side control. Now I'm ready to work. Right? This is high level wrestling here. So now I'm gonna set them up, inside trip. Now we all got good at the inside trip. Congratulations. TJ Dillashaw knows I'm gonna go for the inside trip. He knows I'm gonna go for the inside trip. He pulls back, guess what I'm gonna whack him with? I'm gonna use this lead leg, going across, hooking, ending up inside position, inside control here. Right, pummeling back in. Right, going straight into crucifix. Oh, we go this way. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go on this side. I'm gonna inside trip. He knows it's coming. That's all I'm doing. Stepping over to this opposite side, put him to his back for side control. It's a beautiful setup. It really is. The inside trip is very graceful, and this one I think it's a little more graceful because it's just you end up in better position. One more time, cross body takedown, setting up the inside trip. I go for the inside trip. He pulls out. I'm going cross body, guys. I'm making sure I have my hands locked too, by the way. I have my hands locked here. That's all I'm doing. I'm gonna lift just a little bit. I'm just gonna walk it across. I can't even see his legs, but I know if that leg went back, that the other one is forward. And I know if the other leg is forward, I'm gonna take the chance to step across, to do the cross body for the eventual takedown. And that is our over-under series.